It's my delight to welcome you all to the continuation of your news and current affairs program TMI, coming to you live from our Lagos studios on the ITV network. I am Joshua Okata. Of course, as you know, the Lagos local government polls is just by the corner, slated to take place on July 12, and of course a possible rerun on July 19, 2025. On the program today, we will be looking at the various elective positions. I'm talking about the chairmanship and of course the councillorship position vis-a-vis the candidates vying for such position. Now, the issue is, according to sources, it seems as if though the era of the imposition of candidate, or otherwise known as the Baba Sokwe kind of politics, is gradually finding its way back to the Lagos All Progressive Congress, APC. What are the dangers associated with such kind of politics? I'm talking about the commercializing of leadership position in the Lagos local government pools. These are some of the germane issues that we will be discussing on the program this morning. I'm being joined by Comrade Oshodin Geratin. He is a political affairs analyst. Good morning, Comrade, and thank you so much for joining us.
Joshua, how you doing?
Very well, and you?
Thank God for his mercy.
All right, good to have you on the show once again.
Thank you.
Now let's look at the issues. The forthcoming, local government election in Lagos is just by the corner, and of course, this is not without the tension that is building up across various political divide who are having interest in the coming election. And of course, do you think that, as it stands, the opposition party have a chance or stand a chance in this election, given the fact that we experience a shocking experience in the general election 2023, where the ruling political class, as it were, lost Lagos to the opposition? I'm talking about the Labour Party. So what's your take on that?
All right, that's good. Come to Nigeria, this dispensation, politics have turned another way around to what is supposed to be the choice of the people. And as the government described, that government is of the people, by the people, and for the people. And today, the politics we see is taking another dimension. It has become a government selected by some people, you understand, as a matter of choice, imposed on the people, to rule the people. Like what you rightly said, the shock of that outcomes of that presidential election 2023 is still on the ruling party, especially the Lagos. And when you go around the nation entirely, you will agree with me that it has become a tradition that the ruling party takes it all. Why? I think this is part of the errors on the electoral laws, where autonomous is given to the state to conduct the local government. So automatically, you are giving, it's not a part of the election, you're giving them a right to select who they want. So to what it is today, sir, for the period election, the 2023 election, the shock that comes in there, via the primary that take place at the ruling party, you will agree with me that they are trying to tight up all the loophole to make sure that such will not repeat itself come 2027. So by doing that, they are selecting their loyalists. It's by selection. It's not by the choice of the people.
So when you say it's by selection, are you seeing a possible subversion of democratic process, given the fact that those who are the incumbents across various political positions, the chairmanship and the councillorship, might likely play a role in this coming election?
Definitely, that is true.
What makes you think so?
Like what I earlier said, Nigeria elections have taken a different shape compared to what we're supposed to have done as political election, where people will select who rule them. As the law, as the definition says, government of the people by the people. But in such a situation, it's no longer so. It's government, like I've said it before, I repeat it myself. It's government selected by some people, imposed on the people. So that is why an average Nigeria, when you meet them on the way, you ask them, they say, I beg, I don't fit. That they can't make them understand it can't. But something is wrong somewhere there. And we go on crusade to enlighten our people on what is happening over there. But bear it now, sir. Today, government, what they believe is loyalist. This will submit to me. This will not answer to me. I bring this into power. The issue of the rival is still in our mind, very flesh. The bone of contention there is that the person I brought in is not listening to me. Does it supposed to be so? No. You understand me, sir?
Now, let's look at the issue of loyalists, as you mentioned. Also putting it side by side with the imposition of candidate, otherwise known as the Babasokwe kind of politics that we're gradually seeing playing out in Lagos. Recently, there was a protest that was triggered, given the fact that some, members of the party and the youth reacted and rejected the imposition of a certain candidate in the person of Abdul Ganiu Obasa, which is the son to the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa. What's your take as regards imposing a candidate whom they view as a total stranger to them, as against having a free, fair, and credible primaries conducted where a winner from the party emerges?
You can see the product of Babasokwe. If women interpret this Babasokwe of a thing is this, being loyalist, this is who I'm supposed to be and whatever, and you see what it's producing, is turning Nigeria politics or Nigeria election in like a monarch, where father hand over to sons after that. You understand why? Because they are no longer trusting friends anymore. They are no longer trusting their political and partners, or which language they would like to use anymore. Now they prefer to trust their children. And so it's better I hand over to my son. It has become, it's gradually become a family affair through the Babasokwe and process in this system.
So how did we get to this, by the way, where elections are no longer done credibly and winners are not, emerging out of those elections based on the people's votes? Rather, we're seeing a complete departure from what we used to know to what it begins to be like more of a family affair. Yeah.
It was not a deal, a plan. It was not the process. We grew. I think they grew this thing from the grassroots, which like this local government coming up now in Lagos State. This present dispensation of democracy in Nigeria, it was not so in the days of Awolowo and Co. It was not so in the days of Ajakonde and Bruce Ali and others. At this present dispensation, from the times of Tinubu administration in Lagos State, we begin to experience such an act, and they started it by enslaving the Nigeria mentally.
Did you say it started with Tinubu's administration?
Yes, sir, boldly. They started it.
What's your proof?
Yes, my proof there is this, sir. I was arguing with some people yesterday somewhere. I said, where is the dream of Awolowo in the Yoruba land? The dreams of Awolowo is to make sure an average Yoruba man is an educated man. All right? Today, that is not what we see. An average Yoruba man, I won't say I'm sorry about this, many of them are on the street of Womida. Why? That dream have succeedingly died. Even up to Jakonde, up to Marua, what they call, a military administrator. We saw it in Lagos. Children were being given school uniform. They were given meal in school, from the time of this present dispensation, and I would say Tinubu because he was the governor of Lagos from this present dispensation, then Obasanjo and the federal. Up to this moment, that idea sadly dies off. The education is nothing to write home about again. Children that are supposed to be in school, they are now at the bus stop, taking a woman, calling a woman down here and there, taking drugs and all that. Go to every bus stop, you see young boys manned on high drugs and others. So this was just a process that these people start grooming, and they said that they saw the future. What they were doing is not for the interest of the nation, just for their own benefit. And here we are today. Here we are today.
All right, now let's look at this issue about, the president's interference in this matter, because it has been reported that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has waded into the matter and has nullified such endorsement made by Mudashiru Obasa, the House of the Speaker of the House of Assembly, over his son being the next chairman of Ojokoro local government. Now, what is your take as regards that singular act demonstrated by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, insisting that his son should?
It's just, I don't know, you know why I'm laughing? Because it's just like drama. They're playing game with Nigerians. They're playing game with Nigerians. The Abasa, the speaker, how does he come into power? Was he not endorsed by Tinubu himself? Was it by credit?
But I think the reason behind his interference is to allow for a free, credible, and transparent election at the primaries. Don't you think so?
Now, is it because the Abasa son alone, or you're talking generally in Lagos on how
generally
others, how was others selected? Were they not endorsed?
Talk to us about it.
Were they not endorsed? How was the primary? Was it not an issue of godfatherism?
When you talk about the emergence of Obasa, what proof do you have that Tinubu has a hand in
I'm not even saying Tinubu.
I'm not even saying
Tinubu, but I'm saying he is a platform he lays.
What kind of platform are you talking about?
The issue of Babasokwe, the godfatherism. Why must he not the federal interfering? Don't we have the state governors? Don't we have the local governments? Chairman? It's still an issue of Babasokwe. And when he give an instruction, all of them will obey. That's all. That's what it takes. I think it becomes so ugly because this have to do with the speaker's son.
But don't you think that his position as the national leader of the party has so much significance in
Where
this
is
case?
the party chairman? Where is the party chairman saying about the issue? The state chairman, where is he saying about the issue? The state governor, what are they saying about the issue? He's there at the federal level, yeah, that's good. He's the head of the party, good. But he has men that is working for him. Is it that the state chairman cannot control Abasa, that is why it have to be him? Or the governor cannot come into that, it have to be him? In the issue case, my dear, the issue of endorsement, is it because it's Obasa's son? Who is there that is not there? But listen, it is true, it's of a good. I'm not against anybody appointing anybody. Before you get to a position, somebody have to at least point on you or recommend you for a position. But it becomes a tribe where we turn into an issue of godfatherism.
So talking about endorsement, is it wrong for an individual to endorse his son?
Not at all.
The level of credibility that
no,
he
not
has?
at all.
So
It's
what's
not
the
wrong.
point here?
It's not wrong for one to appoint or to how do I call it? Is it subjection? Is it appoint? But it will be wrong when you impose it. You understand? I can recommend you. But when it comes to an issue that because I'm the head here, if it's not you, then nobody else, it becomes an error. Because what we're supposed to see, because of this issue of Babasokwe issue, look at the state of the nation today. It does not matter because the Babasokwe appoints you or points onto you. So the issue of qualification become nothing. The issue of credibility become nothing. But what we take in point is that this is what the party wants. These are what the godfathers want. I think we should put an end to this thing. Let people come out. We saw where primaries have been conducted before. You understand? Before this dispensation. At the time of NPN and UPN, we saw primary. People comes and credible men have been appointed. People like, that was how people like Jack Conde. Who were they? People like Ambrose Ali. Who was Ambrose Ali in Bender State? He came in by credibility. And look at his result. His testimony in Edo State, they have not recovered from the testimony of Jack Conde in Lagos. Lagos can never recover from it. And then look at the issue now, and the issue of being a godfatherlism upon people. Look at what it takes the nation is suffering. Well, to God be the glory. I know he started one day, and there will be an end one day, where people of intellect will be selected into positions where they will allow the people to make their choice. And let's see how it goes.
Now, with the imposition as seen, in recent times, do you think that the ruling political class can actually, provide, a viable candidate at the primaries that can take on other opposition at the general, election?
What do we mean by viable candidate then is a matter of the loyalist. There's nothing viable there. The viable is we sit down and discuss who will be loyal to us and who will not betray us.
So you can't get any qualified candidates?
No, what do you mean by qualified? Their loyalists are qualified already. You can't get credible with this result. No.
Okay, now let's look at the issue of allowing a free, fair, and credible primaries to be conducted. What are the gains that comes with it?
Yeah. If that is done, free, fair, credible elections, you see people with integrity, people that has the heart of the people will come forth. You understand? Now, and the result will be too clear that when such people are in position, they are leaders. Whatever they are doing, they will be planning what they need to do that the people will accept them should they want to run for the next election. But because of this issue now, this present administration or this present dispensation, the kind of Babasokwe issue, the godfatherlism on the ground, one moment they got into power, the next thing you see them doing, they start putting some strategies on ground for the next election, irrespective of what the people is passing through. That's not the problem. Because what brings them in there is that if our fathers accept me, I'm all true. So what I need to do, I must be loyal to them. I will submit to them. And somebody will tell you that if you are not loyal to somebody that put you down, they forgot that one person selected you or appointed you or recommend you. But the entire country or states voted for you under the sun, under the rain. And you abandon those millions of people and concentrate on one. They call it loyalist.
So does that, explain why the current chairman actually stepped down for his son, especially given the fact that he had been endorsed by his father?
Is the speaker?
Yeah, the speaker.
Is the speaker. Well, that is still what it plays. It's just an issue of Babasokwe, and all of them, they have tested power, they know what it is. Let every Nigeria go to hell, we appoint it all together, then we find a way to get them there. What is there? Let's start. They want to start hand over to their sons, and let us remain where we are.
Now, what's your take as regards this whole situation? Do you think the opposition can leverage on this, considering the fact that it is now in the open that this issue of imposition of candidates over a people at the primaries is now in the open? Do you think the opposition can leverage on this?
The question, this is your question now. It's like somebody asking me, lion and hippopotamus, which is the strongest? The first answer or question I will return back to the person is where will be the battlefield? Is it in the ocean? Can lion stand it? Did you bring them down to the earth? Can hippopotamus stand it? What do you mean by leverage the ruling party leverage on it? The Babasokpela issues control from the INEC to the military person, or what they call the security men, or to the judiciary. And so the moment they endorse you, you start celebrating already. Because one, they are the ruling party, the same system.
So when you say that
they
the ruling political class control the umpire,
yes,
the security agencies, so it's more like saying, in your words, that the lion leaving the land and going into the swamp, as it were, to battle with the hippopotamus. Is that what you're saying?
He's in trouble. He's in trouble. So bringing out the opposition to go and wrestle with them, you first of all, is there a playground? Is there a level ground for them to play? The same thing that happened in the primary is coming out to the major election.
But do you have a fact as regards this?
The fact there is this, the electoral law. Who appoint the electoral commissioners? Who is appointing the personnels? Is it not the ruling party? Who will tell you go to court? And who is the judiciary? Then when you put all these things in place, I think the electoral law have to be amended.
So do you think that at this point we should put aside the issue of the election and talk about the amendment of the electoral law, and the opposition should be at the forefront pushing for this?
They should be. I didn't even know why they are silent about that, because there is no playground for the political parties to play. They don't have a playground. They don't have a playground. Sir, I'm not pointing in Lagos alone. Look at what happened, what is going on in Rivers State. All the local government chairman and the councillors were cleared by the one that the incumbent is supporting. Go to other states. It will happen in Ondo. It will happen in Ekiti. It will happen in Kaduna. In Edo State, where the ruling party take it all. That shows you there is no playground. You understand? Go to every state across the nation. The local government chairman, if they want to manage, they can just give an opposition one chance, one local government. While they out of 2023, they will clear on 22 and give one to an opposition, so that it will not look so ugly that they just wipe the whole thing, you know, that kind of thing. Give them one or two councillors. Automatically, those people are still members because they have no voice in the house. So that shows that there is no playing ground for elections, Nigerian electoral action.
Now,
no playing ground.
As we close to, what's your final take on this issue?
My final take is just for the opposition to please push forward for the amendment of the electoral laws. To push forward for the electoral law.
I think that's a beautiful place to leave the conversation. Yes. Mr. Oshodin Jerotin Comrade, thank you so much for giving
God bless
us your
you, Joshua. It's a
matter.
Pleasure to be with you.
Same here.
Lovely one.
All right, that's our offering for you this morning from our Lagos Network studios. Thank you so much for watching. The program continues shortly as we'll be handing you over to our Benin Network for the rest of the program.